Welcome to the Little Wins Podcast, where school leaders share their little wins that build strong culture, with your host, Karen Borchert. Hello, and welcome back to Little Wins, where we celebrate the small but mighty things that school leaders do to build stronger school culture. I'm your host, Karen Borchert. Today's guest is someone who's been described as the heart of his school, Principal Matt Smith of Kiski Area Senior High School in Pennsylvania. Matt is just starting his second year as principal at his own alma mater, which is such a full circle moment. He graduated from Kiski in 1995 and now 30 years later is leading the school with visibility, empathy, and joy. From music in the hallways to inspiring the next generation of teachers, Matt brings a kind of leadership that's personal, grounded, and full of pride. Welcome, Matt. We are so glad you are here.
Oh, thanks for having me, Karen. I've read about you guys online. I love the messaging of little things that we do to make a big impact. And I think that's what we try to do here. And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Great. Well, wonderful. Well, let's get started with your school, with Kiski. Tell us a little bit, walk us through your hallways. If somebody walks in, what are they going to notice and feel right away? Tell us about what it's like to be at your school.
Sure. I hope they feel welcomed. I mean, I felt that way my whole life. I felt that way as a student here. I feel that way now as a principal. I felt that way as assistant principal here. We want kids to be good human beings first. And again, yes, everybody wants to have high test scores. They want to have all these things. But for us, it's about building a cavalier, like really, really building a person who leaves these four walls, we call it here, Kiski area. They go out into the world and they're a better human being out in the world. So that's what we take a lot of value in. I think that's what you would see in our hallways, the way we treat each other, the things we do with all kids in this building, how everybody, one of the things we say, all means all. And so that means we can create everybody in this building all together. And I think that's would hopefully be the feeling that you would get if you walked in these hallways, that you would be treated welcomed and acknowledge that everybody in this building matters. And that's what's important to all of us.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Well, what is it like to come back and lead the school that helped shape you? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, there's some teachers here that I had in school. That's interesting. People that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple.
Do you still have a hard time not calling them like Mr. and Mrs. or how does that work?
Yes. I mean, to be honest,
I bet.
I've known since I was in school, and a couple of guys that coached me here, they're still here, and so yeah, that's different. But having come to school here and knowing the value of the community, the way we treat each other, and the way it's exactly who I am, and so coming back to be in the building, I love it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, and to me, it's great. I tell the staff all the time, I don't have to write down things I'm going to say. I don't have to practice things because I just live them. I believe in what we do here. I believe that this community is the best place to live and raise a family, and that's why I'm back here. And so they're a great part of it because they educate people that go out into this community and they stay here and they do those things. So together, our staff, we built that, and I'm just happy and honored as heck to be back here where I went to school.
That's great. That's great. Tell us a little bit, take us back a little bit to your leadership path. I love that you didn't, just step into school leadership. You started as a math teacher, I think, or maybe that was at least an earlier role. Tell us a little bit about, I guess, take us to the beginning. What inspired you to go into education in the first place?
Well, and again, that's part of why I'm here. It's teachers in this building that when I was in school, I wanted to be a math teacher. And I went to Clarion. I became a math teacher. I wanted to be like some of the people that I had here, Mr. Toll and Mrs. Plesky, people that I had in class here. I wanted to be like them. And then I was a math teacher. I did it for 5 years out at Latrobe and a school just down the road a little bit.
Yeah.
Place to work. I loved that school. I would have never thought about leaving there, but I became the athletic director there. I was coaching football, became the athletic director there. We did some things from an athletic standpoint, trying to build a family and a program there that led to me to get promoted to become assistant principal there at the high school. And I did that for almost 2 years. And that's our current superintendent now of our schools was a principal here in the district.
Okay.
And he called me and said, "Hey, there's an assistant principal's job here. I know you're an assistant principal, but this is your alma mater. Would you have any interest in coming back?" And Jason made that call to me. And I thank him forever for that because he got me back home. My parents are here. My brother
Oh,
works here.
wow.
My sister lives here. I've got
Oh
a
my
whole
gosh.
in this area. So, um,
Yeah, this is a family affair. This is great. Wonderful. Well, tell us about your first year back in your school as principal. Tell us, what felt different, meaningful. What was the best moment?
well, coming back, it was just crazy. When I got back to Kiski, just being back in this area, that was different
Hmm.
for me. But now being the head principal, it's really different. When you're an assistant principal, and I did it for 12 years. When you're an assistant principal, part of what makes you a good principal is you do the things you're supposed to do that you're tasked with, and you fill a role for the head principal. But sometimes you can't be yourself. Like you're locked into these roles of fulfilling others' visions for you, right? So
Mm,
you're in charge of discipline as an assistant principal. You have to carry out the discipline in the way that it's laid out for you. But that's good, and to be successful at it, sometimes you have to do things that are maybe out of your comfort zone. So what was
yeah.
nice for me last year was to be able to be myself and be in charge of some of those things and be able to let my personality come out, let the things that I believed in kind of resonate throughout the building, and not just have to follow the directions of everybody above me, but allowing, I love this place. I love the feeling of it. We talk about it. I
Yeah.
tell people I love them, and it's great. And not being able to do that as an assistant principal is a little bit of a challenge. And so
Right.
now as the head principal, I think we've built that culture here to really have that conversation.
I think that's such a great point that this opportunity to be a principal and sort of lead a school gives you this chance to really build the culture that you want and the exact experience that you want in your building. It's such a huge opportunity. Tell us about, what's one or two things that you did last year that are like totally you.
Yeah. So what we did, first of all, we hired two assistant principals who are great.
Okay.
And I'm so fortunate. We go through the process. We have two people that are really good. We could only hire one in the month of May. We got the first person in place. And then we were very fortunate that the second person was still available to us in June. We were able to get both of our top two people. So
Oh,
we
wow.
we got the top two people. I think we got the best two assistant principals we could get. I have them here with me, and they are just they have just taken this building by storm and run with it. One is also a graduate here. And she does a
Oh, cool.
phenomenal job. So that was the great first step, right? Getting
Yep.
the right people in place that can buy into what you believe. We've met at my house for the first time. The two of them had never met each other, so we met at my house, and
Oh,
we talked
wow.
that day sitting around my pool about being purposefully positive, and that was the
Mm.
word that we used. Was saying, hey, no matter what happens this school year, we're going to take it from a positive perspective. We're going to make mistakes. We're all new in these positions. We're going to learn
Yeah.
together, but we're going to be very purposeful and stay positive throughout everything that we do. And we use that term throughout the first year, saying, hey, we're going to purposefully be positive in all aspects of the things that happen here. And we're going to ride that roller coaster together in a positive
Yeah.
manner. So that was very important to us, is to come out and really overwhelm people with that positivity. And
Very
then the
good.
second piece is we got behind this district saying of Cavs lead, and the
Okay.
lead part standing for leadership, empathy, accountability, and determination. And we really, at a high school model, you talk about positive behavior systems. We took this Cavs lead and we started handing out tickets to kids when they would demonstrate those characteristics, because we felt those were things kids needed beyond
Mm.
our hey,
Okay.
you're successful in chemistry or calculus like I taught, right? But
Yeah.
to be successful in life, you had to be a leader. You had to be empathetic. You have to be accountable to your own actions, and then you have to be
Yeah.
determined that it's not always going to be easy, and sometimes you're going to have to work through it. And so, that elementary mindset of giving out a ticket to kids when they demonstrate things, we
Yeah.
brought it here to the high school, and we started
Really?
tickets. Yeah, and just handing out tickets.
I was just gonna say that sounds like a strategy you hear in elementary schools a lot. But okay, what did you give out tickets for? Like,
So
what do you use them for?
So the teacher sees a kid demonstrating one of those things.
Yeah.
They stand up and they volunteer to go first, and they're leading the class in some type of discussion. Oh, hey, we'll give you a ticket for your actions. Say you demonstrated leadership in a way that others followed you today, right?
Okay.
Uh, Holding themselves accountable. Hey, I screwed up. Sometimes kids will
Mm.
come in. We're having this. I screwed up. I was wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
you're holding yourself accountable. We're going to reward you for that. Determination with kids would struggle and struggle and struggle and then be
Yeah.
successful on something. You were determined to get through whatever this was. Maybe it's your English requirement, but you were determined to get it completed, and you persevered through that. So we would give them a ticket.
Wonderful.
So when they would do this, and we give them a ticket, and then we got our student council to get behind it, and they bought some prizes, and we put prizes out on display in the hallway and said you could win these AirPods, you could win these tickets to Kennywood, whatever it would be. And then kids, when they got a ticket, they could write their name on the back and drop it in the box.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the first semester, we didn't know what was going to happen. We had no idea. We just gave it a try. And the first semester comes, and we had over 1,000 tickets in the boxes.
Wow.
And I go to our staff and say, listen, that means 1,000 times in the first semester of the school year, you interacted with a student in this building and told them something positive. Hey, you identified and acknowledged something positive that they did around leadership, empathy, accountability, determination. And we're having those conversations. And it comes back to the purpose. Positive. We weren't talking about negative things anymore. We're going to talk about the positive things happening in the building over and over again. Ad nauseam. Yeah. So
Purposefully positive, right?
Purposefully positive. That was it.
I love it. Why do you think that, just a simple ticket system or things like that, why do you think that resonated so much with your students? But also, why do you think that resonated so much? Because all of your staff, your team, had to be the ones giving out those 1,000 tickets and looking for those kind of behaviors. Why do you think it resonated so much with your team?
Well, I think modeling it. We would highlight our staff, and we would talk to them about different things that they were doing and recognizing their accomplishments and giving them tickets. And then, again, we had a separate basket just for our staff. So when they were giving out tickets and they would get rewarded with tickets, they put theirs in there. There was a $100 gift card for staff that we gave out at the end of the semester as well. And so again, doing it together, demonstrating it, modeling that for them, but then getting buy-in, and then it sold itself. When we got to the end of the first semester and we gave out some prizes, we were fortunate. One of our teachers, our phys ed teacher, just happened to be recorded. I go on TV a lot. You'll hear a little bit more about that later, I'm sure. But I love to go on TV at morning announcement. So we went live, and we brought the boxes in live into the TV studio, and we pulled the tickets out. And one of our happened to be recording it when we were pulling it, and a student in his room won a prize, jumped up, ran around the weight room, all excited over winning this. But again, that's where I was like, yeah, we got it. Like the kids, they do value this. They are genuinely proud that their name was in there, excited to win a prize over this. And then, we created some new prizes in the second semester that were more geared towards summertime things like pool passes, the park near us, the roller coaster park, giving those things out that would give kids something to move forward to in the summertime. And so, I think that was a big moment for us to see the kids really bought into it. And of course, getting our staff to put, by the end of the year, we had over 2,000 tickets in there. And again, just saying like, man, we can celebrate the heck out of each other. It's a great thing, And
that's wonderful. I love that, and I love that you did it for both students and staff to create that modeling of those different kinds of things. That's super cool. Well, okay, we got to hear about why you're on TV a lot. We want to hear about the culture. This sounds like such a fun place to go to school, and also just a fun place to work. So we want to hear a little bit about a culture that where you've got music in the hallways and things like that. Tell us a little bit about your culture at your school.
So we started that a few years ago. I was assistant principal here, but it's such a fun atmosphere, right? So we would get like a big game of musical chairs. So instead of a bell rings, you leave a class, a bell rings, you got to be back in class. When the bell rings here, music comes on, and that music will play for the 4-minute class change, and it will shut off when you're supposed to be in the next class. So we have fun with it. We say it's like musical chairs. Bell rings, you got to go be in your seat by the time the next bell rings. And then we just have a whole playlist. We had a great student last year, Joe Stillions, who was phenomenal with technology. He helped me a ton, and he went and created a playlist for us that runs constantly on a computer. And all our bell system does is when the bell rings, it just cuts into the music, wherever the music is at, cuts back out when the bell goes off. So it's running 24 hours a day. He makes sure that they're all school appropriate songs. We put all kinds of songs. We have oldies on there. We have new music. We have every different genre. When we were leading up to our musical last year, it was back to the 80s. We played a bunch of 80s music, so we
Yeah.
could be creative and do different things. And it just creates the atmosphere in the hallway that
Yeah.
again, you're getting where you need to go, but there's a little bit of fun in the hallway. It's okay. You're in school. It's okay
Yeah.
to have a little bit of fun. It's not a
It's
bad thing.
okay to have a little bit of fun. All
Yeah.
right, a couple of questions. First of all, do you publish your playlist so that other people can use it? Because we're going to get that question if somebody can
I'm sure
access your playlist.
I'm sure somebody can. I have quality assistant principals. You're more technologically sound than I am. I'm sure somebody can get the playlist to you. Yes.
Okay. If you've got a Spotify link or anything, I think we're going to want it. And second of all, I guess why, right? Like I think my question is like it sounds so much fun, but why is it important to you for kids to have fun in the hallways between classes? And like, does it create? You can hear somebody being like, oh, they just need to get to their classroom and they just need to focus on what they need to do. Like, what's the point for you of creating that atmosphere in your hallways between classes?
For me, it's I want kids to be here, and we talk all the time. I tell them about attendance. The biggest thing about attendance is be here. Data will show you that the more you're in school, the more successful you're going to be. So have kids enjoy a little bit of time, 3 or 4 minutes in between class. If that's the one thing that gets them to come to school that day, is they can sing a song in the hallway with their buddies or dance down the hallway. Fair enough. I'll go out and sing and dance with them. I don't care. But getting them in the building here, that is important to us, because once we have them and once they're here, we can educate them to the best of our abilities. But when we can't get them in the building, then we can't educate them. So we want them here, and creating those little things for 3 or 4 minutes at a time that let them have some fun and let them enjoy being here. And when you have kids that want to be on campus, it just makes your life a lot easier. And everything from a principal standpoint just goes smoothly then.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. What's the impact on that kind of practice and that kind of fun for your staff and teachers?
Well, it's great. I know we have to work with them on the volume in certain areas, because you get the music too loud in the hallway, it can create its own issues. But they enjoy it. We allow them to even request songs. They can ask for certain things. We will add things to the playlist, and we do that. We had a retiring principal here. He was a big Italian, so we would play some Italian music for him towards the end of this career. Nice. There's different things you can do to have some fun with it. But
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. How are you seeing, are you seeing any, kind of culture shifts in your school since you joined? And what does that look like? How is the culture, you kind of mentioned being sort of in charge and being able to kind of, bring your own vision and really kind of be you in your building and form that culture yourself. How do you see it changing after, your first year?
Yeah, I mean, really, what I see is the teachers responding, our staff responding, and everybody wanting to, hey, we want to be purposely positive. Now they want to be purposely positive, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
We're having conversations about positive things in our building. We're not coming into every conversation with a negative point. Well, this isn't going to work. Well, this too shall pass. All those things you hear in education, like we're coming into things saying, all right, let's give this a try. When we ask them to do new things, that they respond. I mean, this year we tried something new. We had our first in-service day, and we wanted our staff to sit in the front row. We wanted them to show that, hey, we're all in this together, and we're going to sit right in the front when the superintendent speaks. We're all going to be right in the front. And so, we asked some teacher leaders to get involved and communicate that out. They responded. We sat at the in-service days together in the front 5 rows of the auditorium. That was all the high school staff sitting together, and our principals and teachers, everyone together in the building. And it sends messages that we are in this together, that we do enjoy coming. We like to be with each other, and we can make the best out of every day in every situation. So,
that's cool.
Yeah,
that visibility feels like it's important to you. The idea of everybody in the front row being all of those things. Tell us a little bit about visibility. How do you stay visible, connected as a school leader? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. So again, I think it's really important. And really 2 things. I talked a little about the TVs. I joke about it all the time, but we have a TV studio that does morning announcements. Okay. And it just started simple. Last year, at the first day of school, I went and said, hey, I'm gonna jump on the TV and just welcome everybody back to school. Right. Yeah. And the teacher and the kids there, they responded. Mrs. Richard was like, hey, this is great. Why don't you come back and do it again? Yeah. Like, The kids really enjoyed having you here. It's like, okay. So then I would talk about a big game coming up. Hey, let's all go to the football game. Let's wear this theme and let's do this, right? And then we had a book club. We have a book team that goes. They compete. They read books and they have a competition. And they did well. They had the best day they've ever.
That's a thing.
Yeah,
A book competition.
Here in Westmoreland County, it is. We have a reading competition. We read books and we answer questions about it. So,
man, I grew up in the wrong place. I would have killed for that as a kid.
You have to celebrate everybody. That's when it comes back.
Right.
It's not just the football team on Friday night. It is getting everybody
Absolutely.
individual recognition. We have a gymnast that wins a WPIL title. We get her on the TV. We have the reading club. Like I said, the competition team, we put them on TV. We acknowledge and we recognize people. I've recognized staff on TV. Hey, you have big milestone victory for this coach. We put them on TV and talk about it. We have a big doubleheader event coming up this week, and we want people to come out. And so we bring the coaches together and we put them on TV together, and we celebrate things. We recognize them, and so it forces them to see my face because it's the morning announcements. They have to turn on the pledge, and there's this goofy principal standing there holding the microphone talking to everybody, right?
Yeah.
But it forced it out there, and then at lunchtime. They were teasing me the other day because I take a desk and I sit in the hallway and where the kids are eating and congregating their lunch, I sit there and I eat my lunch. I put my out there and I eat. I talk to kids and teachers come by and we talk and other principals of other buildings, they come in and they say, well, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to sit out here and eat lunch.
I'm going to eat lunch. Yeah.
Put me out here with everybody else. And I get to hear what's going on. I get to see what's going on. I get to talk to people about what's going on. So it's not just in the classrooms, because you can be visible. You can walk in classrooms all the time. That's that formal setting. So this is going to be visible both in that formal setting, but also in some of that informal piece when you say, hey, what makes it fun to come to school? Well, go see your principal eating a salad in the hallway and talk to them about your weekend. Like, okay, great. If it makes you come to school, let's do it.
So hold on, I just have to make sure because people like to borrow all of these ideas that they hear on here. So let's just make sure we get this right. So you have a desk, like a student desk or like a
student desk. I just put it down in the hallway.
Same place every day, or do you move it around?
Pretty much the same place every day, same hallway. Okay. Right now, we currently have our junior high in our building. So we're a little bit crowded. So our lunch, we can't fit everybody in the cafeteria. So we eat in the cafeteria, we eat in the hallways around the cafeteria, and we eat in our library that is down the hallway in the cafeteria.
Okay.
So put myself in the center of all that, and I have my little table there, my little desk and a chair, and sometimes the assistant principals will sit with me, and we just eat our lunch, and we talk to kids or talk to teachers. But they know the kids will come find us right there. If they need something, they know to come to that little desk at lunchtime. They'll find me sitting there, and they'll say, "Hey."
That's great. That's great. Going back to those announcements, I love that. So first of all, do you do that every day?
I don't go on every day, and I would. I really enjoy it. I would. It's a little secret there. I love that piece, but my wife would probably kill me. She says that I've spent my whole life being quiet. Now they handed me a microphone, and I won't shut up. But
that's great.
There's so many things that you can recognize, and coming back to that positivity.
Yeah.
One of the first things I recognize that being honest, the work those kids do is unbelievable. I mean, they have television, the teleprompter. They have two anchors that are speaking. It's a lot of work that they put in outside of school hours just to make that successful. And it's broadcast through YouTube to all the different homerooms, and we play it back in our homerooms. So the work that they were doing, it was just like, hey, I just start off by saying, I want to recognize all these people. Look what they're doing in here. This is amazing. And if you don't have a chance to come down and see announcements for one day and see the work they're doing. And people were like, wow, that was really nice. You recognize it. Oh, okay. So then, you recognize another group of people. You say, hey, okay. And then, wow, the next thing I know, when you talk about how do you know things are working, I started getting teachers emailing me like, hey, would you go on the announcements and recognize this group? Would you?
Yeah.
About this event coming up. Like, okay. When other people are realizing, hey, kids are noticing it, and then they want you to be their advertisement, like, oh, okay. I can get behind that.
Well, and there's a big impact for both the students and staff. When the principal gets on TV and says, "Hey, everybody come out for the school play this weekend. I'm going to be there. That's going to be great. These guys have been working hard for the last few months on this thing." That has a huge impact on students and staff who have been working hard and see and feel like their work is being recognized. And then it also has the double impact of kind of creating this sense of school spirit and school culture that then everyone's a part of, like that. And it's like such small words. Did you feel like you saw attendance at those things kind of improve and increase just from kind of that publicity for it?
Yeah, and again, little things. I mean, you talked about attendance at events improving. You said the play, and I have to tell you my little story. But last year, the kids approached me about the musical we were doing back to the '80s.
Okay.
They wanted to know if I would do a little cameo role in the musical, right? I was like,
oh my gosh.
I've never done it. I've never been on stage in my life. I have no idea. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. You guys want me to do it? Let's do it, right? Because I would absolutely go out and throw a football with the football team or kick a soccer ball with the soccer team. So, hey, the musical, they want me, let's do it. Let's go do it, right? So the director came down, we met, he found a little cameo role for me. And I mean, people really liked it, and I didn't do anything. I just followed the director. The kids were the stars. It was like they put everything on a tee for me, and all I had to do was knock the ball off the tee. I just walked through the stage, delivered one little line, but yeah, people loved it. And then people would come and talk about, hey, I saw you in the show. And it was like,
oh my gosh,
that means you saw those 100 kids and how hard they worked. I mean, I just showed up for 15 seconds. They worked for months and put all that time. And it gave me the opportunity to talk about that. And it was great.
That's so great. That's so great.
You talk about little wins, right? You now acknowledge the whole population of people that feel like, hey, we've been out here working for months. I'd just like somebody to recognize us. Well, yeah, I'm willing to come down there and walk on stage with you and experience it. And that was bizarre. It was great. They want me to come back this year. I don't know. We'll see about that.
Oh man, I love that. You are definitely the first guest on this show who has ever agreed to be in the school musical as well. The cameo. That is so good.
I had a whole costume. I had a wig. I wore this 80s outfit. I mean, it was a whole.
Was it a big surprise? Did everybody in the audience just go crazy?
That was the big thing because they asked me to keep it a surprise. So the kids didn't even see. Some of the kids knew I was going to be in the show because they'd come and ask me. Okay, but the kids didn't even see me in costume until the night of dress rehearsal before the show. Like
oh my gosh, fun.
In a secret, we kept everything in my office, and the staff had no idea. We actually practiced. The director was great. We practiced like at lunchtime where nobody was in the auditorium. We could kind of close the doors and we practiced everything. And then I came at night and practiced with the kids, but nobody knew about it. And then even like my superintendent was like, I can't believe you were in the show. Like, he came to watch and was like, I didn't know that was you at first. And then it was like, it hit me like, oh, that's
oh my gosh. That's so good. I love it. That's one of my favorite things I've heard in a while. That's really, really good. Well, wonderful. I know shifting gears just a little bit, as you mentioned hiring and hiring, some assistant principals. But I also know that you have a quite intentional about how you think about job candidates and meeting personally with them. Tell me a little bit about how you think about recruiting and how you think about bringing new staff members to your school.
Yeah. And so for me, it's funny, like some people get caught up in all these spreadsheets and numbers and things. Mm-hmm. And really an old model from way back when I was at Latrobe, when I was interviewing coaches was, I wanted to make it a conversation. Like this is great. I could tell a lot about who you are. You could probably tell who I am from this conversation. But when you give it a question and they give you like a textbook answer, it's difficult to filter through that and find who they are. And I always say, if I can tell somebody who will connect with kids, we can learn more about the English, more about the math, more about the science, social studies, whatever. So we can learn those things, but I can't teach somebody to connect with kids. And so that's what I look for every time. Whether it's an assistant principal, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a custodian, whether it's a cafeteria worker, I want somebody that's going to put kids first. That's going to be their passion is kids. They want to be here for them. And then whatever the job is, we will do our best and we will learn it and we will get better at it. But we will always do it by putting our focus on making the kids the priority. So
So
That's
great.
sort of my goal every time I interview. And again, whether it's a soccer coach, whether it's a custodian, like it's the same template. Like, are you going to make the best for our kids? And if you are, you're my person.
And how do you find that out in the interview process? What are you doing, or either what do you do, or what are you looking for in that process that tells you whether this is somebody that can connect with kids?
I think it's authentic. I think it's we referenced when we were talking about this a little bit. Sometimes you go off script, and sometimes
Mm,
you ask them a question that they don't expect. Hey, what's
yeah,
the last book you read? What are you afraid of coming to my school? Right? And
yeah,
you ask some questions that they don't read in the manuals to prepare for an interview. That throws
yeah,
them off a little bit. I see how they respond. Like, do you respond with doubt? Do you respond confident? Like, oh, that's a great question. Let's talk about it. Here's what I have read.
yeah,
So you ask some things that they're not prepared for to see do they engage? Do they want to just talk
yeah,
to you? Just hey, look, this is great. You came up with something new. Let's talk about this, right?
yeah.
Or do
That's great.
they shy away from that conversation and try to get back into the more textbooky type question? So
Yeah,
that's a key piece for me is that flexibility and the ability to go off script at times, ask some things, maybe ask about their family, ask them some question that they're not
yeah,
expecting, and just see how they respond to that.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
important. Family is a huge important thing to me. It's behind me on my desk here. I emphasize with my assistant principals, we take care of each other. We do it with our staff. Somebody has something going on with their family, we will take care of them and get them to where they need to
Mm,
be. So, I want to see that piece come up in the interview is
yeah,
that family is important to them.
yeah.
I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my family. I'm
Right,
so
right.
betrothed.
Yeah,
I'm here
yeah.
because of my family, and that's why it's important to me.
That's That's really cool. That's great, and I think as simple as kind of one hiring value, right? Of can they connect with kids is the one thing we can't teach, right? Is that's just that's huge. That's great. All right, so going back to some of these little wins because you've got lots and lots of great ideas here, and I know I'm excited for people to hear about this one. Tell us a little bit about the Aspiring Educators Program.
Yeah. So again, it's one of those things like in that we run it through our career and technology center. And again, a
Okay.
lot of people have more of that traditional view of both tech and what it looks like. But our director there is really good and he's really looking for new and innovative ways to draw more kids in. We want to get all
Yeah.
kids different experiences. So education, we're struggling right now. It's under attack a little bit in
Yeah.
trying to get people to want to come into the profession in areas where they don't have some of the protection, they don't have some of the long-term stability that people had when I was younger coming into the field in the retirement system and all those things have been redone over years. It is a tough draw and it's a very
Yeah.
competitive world to get the best people to want to be educators now.
Yeah.
And so that's a challenge. So we've created a program, Aspiring Educators, down at our Career and Technology Center. What we do is we take kids and we get them into the world of trying to become teachers. We're getting them into buildings. It's nice through running it through the Career and Technology Center because our kids can get experience in a different high school, not necessarily their high school. They could get assistant to a teacher at Burrow or at New Kensington Arnold, our neighboring schools that share the Career and Technology Center. And some of their students come here and they work with our teachers and they get that experience while they're still here at high school.
Mm,
I went to school. You had to be, maybe your junior year in college before you were actually sitting in a classroom with
yeah.
another adult in there. So we're trying to get kids that experience, to feel that excitement, to fuel that passion, to maybe get some people back into our workforce because we need it. We need some
No
educators
kidding.
and trying to get them young and get them encouraged into the program, then supporting them and getting them on their way. We find that to be critically important to us here.
That is so cool because it's double good, right? You get, I mean, that if you've got students coming in and working as assistants in classroom, that's providing some relief to your current teachers where, because teaching assistants and paras and all of that is so like especially hard to fill right now. So you're getting your current teachers a little bit of support while you're also encouraging and building the next generation of educators. That's brilliant. Once again, that's the first time I've heard that on the podcast too. So you got some good ones today. What inspired that program? How'd you get that going?
Yeah, Dr. Hicks, Jason Hicks at our Career and
Hmm.
Technology Center. He comes down, he says, "Hey, this is something we'd like to try. We've seen it. Maybe I don't know if he found it at a neighboring boat tech center, but he said, hey, I want to try it. And again, you've heard enough about me that our philosophy is going to be, we're going to do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's try it. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's be the best at it. So trying to get our kids there, again, hiring the right teacher. We got off to a great start the first year. We hired a young lady who was very excited, and kids were drawn to her. That helped us get going. We've added some more students this year. I think we only have about 5 students in it right now, but the program has grown. Across other districts, there's probably maybe closer to 20 kids total in that program. But for us, those are 5 to 20 kids that maybe weren't going to go into education, that now we've got to kind of hooked a little bit, maybe get them on the
Yeah.
way. And this is long before they even get to having to make a college choice. This is while they're still here in high
Yeah.
school, getting to have that
Absolutely.
experience. So, and
Yeah.
again, to your point of providing some support to teachers, there's some support to them. There's some opportunity for them to serve as mentors and to teach people. Because again, I think just like me, like the opportunity to teach 2 new assistant principals completely reinvigorated me into the administrative role. It absolutely did,
Yeah.
because I got
Absolutely.
to motivate and mentor and teach those things that I believed in. Well, giving our staff the opportunity to do that with kids that want to be like them. I mean, that is where hopefully we build that passion and excitement for years to come in those
Oh,
educators.
that's awesome. I want to go back to something that you kind of breezed right through, but I think it's so important. So you mentioned that Dr. Hicks brought this to you and said, "Hey, I want to try this," and you were like, "Yeah, let's go, let's try it." That's a pretty special quality as a leader to be so willing to, to hear these different ideas and just say, "Yes, let's try them, let's go for it." To kind of take those risks and do those things. How have you built a culture? How have you encouraged staff to bring their ideas and their thoughts to you? And how do you make sure? How do you be able to say yes to so many things?
Yeah, I think it's being a quality listener. You have to hear them, and you have to then find ways to support them when they want to. I mean,
Okay.
that's one example there. That's from our Career Technology Center. I mean, just
Yep.
inside our own building, we've had teachers. We have an ice cream social now for kids that is related to just being positive, and
Yeah.
we allow our teachers to write cards to kids about being some reason why they identified them for something they did. And it's not just for academics. It's not just for athletics. It's just, hey, you've been a great kid. You've answered questions all year in my class. We're going to have an ice cream social. And the teachers come in and they say, hey, we want to try this. Like, yeah, let's do it. Let's find a way. Okay, great.
Yeah.
We'll pay for some ice cream. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's make it work. Um, anytime if you can say to them, if the answer is just not no, if the
Yeah.
answer is, let's take a look at it, see how we can
Yeah.
make it work.
Yeah.
And together, can we build this? And so, if it's Jason Hicks coming to talk about a program and he's bringing multiple
Mm.
schools together, can we do this together? Let's do it. Let's make it
Yeah.
work. If it's our teachers coming to talk about celebrating kids with a positive breakfast in the mornings, can we?
Hmm.
All right, let's do it. Let's make it work. And now we're getting to the point where we get kids starting to bring ideas to us.
Oh, cool.
Last year, we had a senior sunset at the end of the school year where the kids wanted to come out here last day of school, at
Yeah.
camp, watch the sunset, right?
Yeah.
This year, we took it to the next level. They came and in the summertime, they wanted to start the year with a senior sunrise. So
Oh, huge.
started the school. The first day of school, we all went out and met on the football field. We had 125 seniors there. We watched the sun
Oh,
come up together. They took pictures, drank some coffee. Then we came to the first day of school, right? And then we'll
that's so
follow that
cool.
up at the end with the senior sunsets. They kind of bookend those 2 events. And
Yeah.
these, again, when you get kids now saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
people will support us. Let's
Yeah.
hey, if we have good ideas and we find ways to work together,
Yeah.
let's do it. Let's go. Let's make it
Yeah.
work."
I love it. Do you say no to an idea? And if so, how do you do that without discouraging new ideas coming?
Yeah, so sometimes you have to wait. I mean,
Yeah.
I just had a meeting before this. We're talking about some new ideas, some things we were talking about in relation to homecoming, and
Mhm.
so yeah, it's a great plan, but we're not
Yeah.
ready logistically to take it on. So what we say is,
Yeah.
hey, let's not say no. Let's
Right.
say not yet,
Not
right?
yet.
We're
Not
not.
no, but not yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to get some more information. We need to get some more details. Sometimes kids will come down and they want to have a club. They want to create a new club. And sometimes you say, well, we don't really need that club, but we can do what you're talking about through
Yeah.
another club, through the Key Club, through the national. We don't have to have your own club to participate in that activity. We can make that. They want to go read at a nursing home. Great, I love
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
we don't need a club for that. We can
Right.
do that through what we already have. And so
Yeah.
sometimes it's not always. It's not just saying no. It's just kind of re-imaging and re-envisioning how it looks.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. What's your kind of, do you have any kind of go-tos for making sure that you're showing a teacher that they matter, that you're recognizing them for their contributions? How do you think about that day to day?
Yeah, that go-to for me comes back to putting them on TV with me.
Yeah. Okay.
They know they've arrived if they have to come stand on TV with me, and
They
they
either arrived
I
or
don't
they're
know
in big trouble, right?
I don't know if they love it. I don't some of them get really it's hot in there. You have the
Yeah.
studio lighting and everything, and it's hot, it's live. So again,
That's
I
great.
laugh about the because sometimes and this is what's great about that modeling it in front of kids. Sometimes it doesn't come out right. You say something, it's like, oh, it wasn't quite right. Hold on, let me try that again. Or the microphone doesn't work, and we have to like, oh, let me
Yep.
restart. It's not the microphone. But kids see that, and again, you're demonstrating that that's okay.
Yep.
When they see us recognizing our staff, they understand that our staff is doing a lot of great things, and the
Yeah.
more we can
Absolutely.
celebrate them, and the more we can identify the great things they're doing, then they identify their kids. And now pretty soon you have this whole culture of just everybody wants to celebrate all of the little wins, right? We
Yeah. Yeah.
celebrate everything, and then, yeah, there are times where we have to deal with some negative things, but let's overwhelm it with all the positivity, and let's celebrate all the little things that we do well together. And so that's really my go-to, is to put them on TV with me.
So
Like it or
good.
not, they come on, and they
That's
tend to,
great.
yeah.
That is wonderful. Well, this has been so great. There's so many wonderful ideas here, and what I love about them is so many of them don't require, a great big budget or a huge committee. They are truly some wonderful little wins. So we always wrap up with little wins wrap up. The three questions we always end with. Are you ready for those three questions?
I don't know. I mean, we'll find.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. We're going to find out. Okay, first one is, what are three words that you want to define your school's culture?
Well, I have four:
Okay.
leadership, empathy, accountability, determination. Um, those are the four things. If I tell them all the time, if I die today, you guys make sure the kids from Kiski area's future have leadership, empathy, accountability, determination, and everybody will be fine.
Yep. Yep. That's great. That's great. I love it. And it sounds like you guys truly, live that out every single day over here. That's great. Okay, second question. What is one little win you have had at work lately that we can celebrate for you?
It's comical, but a little win for me last year. I had some senior committee. We have a committee of seniors instead of just senior class officers. There's 10 of them, and they wanted to do a little senior class prank. And they actually through like Instagram and different things, they were able to reach out to my wife, and they know that I work out before school, and
Okay.
I go to school every day at 5:45 to exercise. So
Okay.
what they wanted to do is they wanted to throw off my routine at the end of their senior year by sleeping in my driveway. And they were gonna put tents out and sleep in my driveway. So when I got up in the morning, I couldn't go work out, and then
Yep.
they were gonna make me breakfast in the driveway, right? Uh,
Okay.
so she ended up turning a little. She bought breakfast for the kids, and we made a nice celebration in my house. But to me, the win was just the kids got it. Like, we're in this together, right?
Yep. Yep.
And we can have some fun, and we can still get things done, and we could accomplish the things they wanted in a way that was creative, it was
Yeah.
funny. Nobody
Yeah.
hey, that's a senior class prank. Nobody's damaging it. Nothing's getting destroyed. We're having a
Yeah.
great.
Nothing bad happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And to me, that's a win when we start celebrating things like that, and have fun with those things instead of dealing with somebody doing something crazy in the building, and it's a senior class prank. Like, hey, if your prank is to come hang out with your principal in his driveway at 5:30
Right.
in the morning,
Yeah. If
goodness,
it,
you,
yeah, jokes on you.
you gotta feel
That's
pretty good about
so
yourself at that point, you know. So
yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. That's a great little one. I love it. I love it. Last one is, we say all the time here that school culture is everyone's job in the building, not just the leader. So what's one thing that you believe any educator can do to improve their school culture right now?
Yeah, I think it's be yourself, be who you are, and I'm a positive person, so I'm going to be positive. I'm not going to talk negative. But if you're not that positive person, and you be who you are, it's okay. Kids are resilient; they respond to everybody. But you
Yeah.
have to be yourself. When you're fake, they know it, and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you're trying to pretend to be, they will see
Yeah.
through it. So
Yeah.
just be who you are, and you can reach thousands of kids. I mean, your touch is endless when you do these jobs, but you
Yeah.
have to be yourself, because if you're fake or you're not authentic, they know it, and
They're
they
going to know
know
it.
who the ones are that are real and who really believe in them.
That's awesome. All right, bonus question for you.
All right.
What's the last or best book you've read lately?
Ah, we're doing learning by doing right now. It's a PLC book.
Okay.
If you're familiar with that, we went to a conference down in Charlotte. And we're actually trying to read it together as a staff. That's something we do. So,
Oh,
I
very
read
cool.
chapters. We print chapters for them. We reread them together. We discuss them. And so that's something we do as a staff here. And we're on Learning by Doing by Rick DeFore. And
Okay.
that would probably be the one I'm most involved in right now, because I believe
That's
in the
great.
PLC process. I love it, and I love having that conversation with our staff too.
Wonderful. I just love hearing what leaders are reading in this space. So this is wonderful. Matt, this has been so much fun to chat with you and just hear so many of these little wins. You've given us so many ideas for school leaders, from everything from a ticket system that goes, for high school students as well as for staff, playing music in the hallways so that kids want to be here, celebrating kids groups and staff on the morning news, having lunch at a desk in the hallway, and even doing a cameo in the school musical. I cannot imagine how much fun the hallways of your building are, and just the opportunity to see and be a part of your school day to day sounds like it is just such a true joy. So thank you so much for sharing it with us, and thank you for being here today.
You're very welcome. Anybody wants to talk about wins in education, I love it, and I'll do it anytime, any place.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Have a great one.
Thanks, Karen.
Thanks. Have a little win? We'd love to hear from you. Learn how we help schools build strong culture at getalpaca.com.